Hey everyone, welcome back to the workshop. Artisan Pirate here, and in today's fun video, we are going to be showcasing a compilation of clips that I started filming in late March, early to mid-April of this year, and just wrapped up in late June of this year. So please keep in mind that time gap there. And the reason it took so long to get all these clips together was because I was cleaning out a storage shed that is right behind the sticker swap sticker wall. It's actually connected to the same building. It has tall ceilings, it has a loft, and it has a dirt floor, so you don't have to worry about how much weight is in that room. Back in the day, my grandfather called it a feed room because back in the day, again, when I was a toddler, maybe up to maybe 7, 8, maybe even 10 years of age, my grandfather had a bunch of chickens and rabbits here on the family property. You guys know, if you follow me a long time, he was a championship rabbit breeder, but he needed a place to store all their foods and, you know, extra feeders and things like that. And he had a bunch of those big 55-gallon blue plastic barrels. There's still some here on the family property I'd like to use to store all their feed in, hence the need for a dirt floor to where you didn't have to worry about the weight on a wood structure floor or things like that, if it makes any sense. But when he passed in late 2012 and I ventured back out into the workshop here in early 2013 to kind of get that closure that I sadly didn't get when he passed, and it's one of my biggest life regrets, I started cleaning and cataloging everything out here, and what I didn't need going forward as a scroll saw woodworking artist was put in the storage shed that is behind the sticker swap sticker wall, and over the years it just sadly became a catch-all. And you're going to see that going forward in the clips, and I'm not trying to showcase this to kind of show, hey, you had a lot of stuff, you know. No, I'm just trying to show you guys that you can get rid of stuff and not get rid of the memory. There was some stuff in there that almost brought a tear to my eye, remembering my grandfather, and, you know, I had to step away and think a minute. And I want to thank everybody in the family that came over and helped me during this process to move some of the heavier stuff around. Of course, I had to put some stuff up in the loft. I brought some stuff down from the loft that had sadly deteriorated and wasn't no good just from being up there for years and years. But again, I just wanted to again showcase this video, and hopefully you guys will enjoy it, because when I started doing these clips, and I'll even say it in the clips, I know several times I was kind of repetitive with it, I was not even intentionally going to put it on a public platform such as YouTube like this. I was just filming the clips. After I got done out here in the workshop, the camera was already out here, I would just take it around to this shed and kind of document what was going on and how far I had came with the progress of cleaning the building out and making it a proper and usable storage shed that I could get in there and move around and get to all the yard tools like the shovels, the rakes, the post hole diggers, you know, as well as all my additional big sheet goods. I wanted them properly stored and elevated off that dirt floor. But I've done all those clips just for posterity's sake. I was going to stitch them together and just put them on an external hard drive to where I could have those memories to look back on. But the more and more I thought about it, the more I thought, hey, you guys might want to see it. So I hope you guys enjoy the compilation of clips. It is a longer than normal video for me, and once all the clips are shown, we will of course come back out here and we will wrap up the video here in front of the camera in the workshop. But I do hope you guys enjoyed the clips. In some of the clips I'm very red-faced because I got out here early in the morning before it got super hot, you know, put the dust mask on and film scroll saw project videos, and while I had nice weather I would go in there and keep cleaning. So just please keep that in mind, that I was filming all these clips in between my actual and normal life. But without further ado, let's jump into the compilation of clips, and when we view them all, we'll come back out here to wrap up the video. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Artisan Pirate here, and we are in front of the workshop. Now, this is not going to be a traditional style video from me, but it's something I wanted to document. I don't even know if I'm going to upload it to the YouTube platform, so if I decided to do it, I thought it was interesting enough to post and upload. But beside the main workshop, there is this connected building here that is a storage shed. And when my grandfather passed in late 2012 and I began venturing back out to the workshop in early 2013 to kind of get that full closure after his passing, I cleaned out what I didn't need in the workshop and stored it in here, and it was kind of a catch-all since 2012. Now if we go in here, you can see that there is the joiner. This is also where I store my bicycle during the winter months and everything. You can see I've got scrap pieces of plywood here. What my ultimate intention for this building is to turn it into a proper storage shed for excess scrap lumber. I've got a bunch of sheet goods behind that big cardboard box there. That cardboard box is going to get recycled and thrown away, but I've gone through a lot of stuff and a lot of the extras. There's no need for me to have 100 screwdrivers, 15 hammers, stuff like that. So what I'm doing now is just cataloging everything. When I very first began going through everything in here, there was a big cabinet here, a metal one, and the bottom had rusted out of it. So what I done was pulled it out, and I wish I'd have started the video then. It kind of got into my head to kind of document this process, but I threw it in the back of the truck and took it to recycle. I got maybe $5-6 with some other scrap material, but it was out of the building and out of my way. This one cabinet here, that's also metal, the bottom still looks in good condition for it to be its age and for the time it's been out here. So what I want to do is clean everything out. It's been a long drawn out process. At the time of this video's recording, I began cleaning this out in early April. It is now the second week in May. So please keep that in mind. This is just going to follow a progression, and I hope you all follow along. And I have made some progress, my friends. See, there is even more yard tools that I didn't even know was out here. Again, this thing has a loft, so up there is packed full, and there's a little landing up there at the top, if you can see it, and stuff is up there as well. But this building was just packed to the gills when Grandpa passed away. And I've just got that one metal cabinet out. Again, it is salvageable. The other one, the whole bottom was rusted out and it was leaning. So this one, I've got it cleaned out. It's going to go right here. I'm about to clean this stuff out and move the platform here. I'm going to put it on a wooden platform. That way it will prolong the life of the metal bottom of the cabinet itself. But all of this stuff here was in the cabinet. Some plumber's wrenches, a very old and original craftsman skill saw, circular saw I mean, hammer handles, just various stuff, knickknacks, power tools. I mean, and again, me being a scroll saw woodworking artist, I really don't need 50 and 60 of each item. So I'm going to carefully go through everything. I don't want to get rid of anything in a haste and then later regret it, if that makes any sense. But some of this will go back in this cabinet once I get it moved to its new home. And made major progress today. I've got all that stuff cleaned up. Remember in the previous clip, that metal cabinet began life here. It had been here ever since I was a kid. I remember Grandpa coming out here and looking through it. But I now have it moved to that side there, and I've got it up on a wooden pedestal to protect the metal bottom of it. Of course, it was rusted somewhat, but now it's off the ground and actually attached to the back wall of the workshop. You can see my lumber storage area there, and one thing about this building, it has a dirt floor, so it doesn't matter how much weight you put in here. And my long-term goal for this building and this storage shed is exactly that, storage, but I want to have it organized. I want to get all the toolboxes that's out here, the lunchbox style ones, organized, and I also want to make some kind of lumber rack. I can see in the future this wall here being where all the lumber is going to be stored, to where I can just open the door and grab it, and I'll probably up here put some shelves for more storage. I'm always looking for storage solutions, especially when floor space is always at a premium in a small workshop. But got a lot of work done here, and a lot of the tools have been looked through, and some of them are going to be donated and going to a good cause. I would love to work a little bit out here every single day, but unfortunately, with this being an outdoor building, I am subjected to the wind, the rain, you know, and weather like that. And we've been having some unseasonable rain. It has rained about almost a week and a half straight, and this was the first day I could get back out here. But I will continue shooting and filming little clips as I make progress. And another day out here working, my friends. Got the truck once again pulled into the backyard to where I can work off the tailgate and search through stuff. We had 2 consecutive weeks of rain. Over 10 inches of rain fell in 2 weeks in Burlington, North Carolina. So we finally have some clear days to resume cleaning. You can see I've pulled more stuff out to go through. There's a little chair. And right here is an original Craftsman auto creeper. You guys know my grandfather was a huge fan of Craftsman, but this wasn't his. This was actually given to me after another friend found out I was a huge fan of the old school Craftsman brand. Here is a table a family member gave me to redo and refinish once I get the time to do so. Here is my 6-inch Delta joiner. It doesn't have a way to have dust collection connected to it, and I just built a frame one year after we come back from the beach and put casters I got, I think at Harbor Freight, on it, and I can roll it in and roll it out of the building as I need it. It's a tool that I hardly ever use. There is the box the Rikon table saw come in. It's going to be broke down and discarded. There's just some scrap metal there that I will be recycling. But here is where we're at now. We got the one nice metal cabinet moved over here and everything gone through. And as I find small stuff, I'm just putting it back in here. And of course it will shut and the doors will close. And then here is some of my wood storage. This is what I'm trying to properly and primarily make out here, is a proper storage for wood and the bigger tools and just stuff I don't use. But I am making progress here. It's just a long way to go, and with the rain it just puts a halt on what I can do on any given day. But just a quick little update on how far we have gotten. Still continuing to pull stuff out and organize it. I raked out everything that was on the ground. Thank goodness that this building here has a dirt floor, but I'm slowly making progress here, because I really, ultimately, if I had like a week of just beautiful weather, no rain whatsoever forecasted, I would pull everything completely out to where I could properly catalog it instead of going through it day by day. I've got the floor here nice and clean. I'll probably be putting down some wood that is no good to probably try to make a simulated floor, but I've still got to climb up there and look through that loft as well. But as you can see, I'm getting farther and farther into this building, and there's all these toolboxes here that used to be in the workshop. I've got a vague idea of what is in some of them, but not all of them. What I plan to do is hopefully build some kind of table right here inside the door. I don't know what I'm going to do with all the lawn tools yet, but right here to where I can have all of those toolboxes labeled with what's in them and have them right here at the door. Of course, there's an extension ladder that leans up right here to give you access to the loft up there that goes all the way back to the end of that building. So I've got to keep in mind that the ladder has got to stay here for me to have access up there, but I am making progress today. Okay, my friends, getting ready to wrap up for today, but thankfully I'm going to be able to leave what I have out today so I can jump on it tomorrow, which will be another day of diligently working out here in the building. We're going to see if a family friend wants this big table here. It weighs over 70 pounds. It's one of those old school folding tables, as well as this old classroom table my grandfather had. You can see how the legs are really short. It used to be in the workshop. If you go all the way back to my original videos, you will see this exact table in some of my earliest YouTube videos, but I got to a point where it was just in the way, and in my nature and, you know, memories and all, I didn't want to get rid of it, but now it's to a point where I do need to get rid of it for space. Here is some of the toolboxes. This cart here, I'm going to tear it out probably totally and completely, was packed full of lime. I got rid of all that properly, and I've got some of the toolboxes sit there. This is an old school corn shucker where you would put the corn in and crank it, and it would somehow take the corn out of the husk and throw the corn down in here and discard of the husk. But I've got some chainsaws, leaf blowers, weed eaters to go through. But my next goal, I think, while I've got room to put the ladder up, is to clean out the loft up here. Hopefully I can get a jump start on that in the morning. But once again, I thank you guys for following along on this video that I'm not even sure if I'm going to put up on the YouTube platform. Okay, my friends, continuing to go through stuff. It's another beautiful day, and you can see I have pulled a lot more out. Here is some metal that I'm going to scrap. I was told this here, and yeah, I'm very dirty from being in the building, was a pump for those old 55-gallon barrels that are like on farms, but the hose has rotted out of it. Here is a pressure washer, a corded leaf blower, a corded chainsaw, an old cuckoo clock, a corded chainsaw, this very old fire extinguisher, various woods. We have this corn shucker here, you know, old school, where you would spin it and the corn would get shucked. I've got a lot of stuff to go through here today, but a major improvement from the last clip, my friends. Lot going on. I do have the tables now and that piece, my original train table, elevated off the ground for now. This is not ideally where I want it to permanently live, because I do want to actually put some shelves up to organize stuff and have the lumber rack against this wall here, so it's against, as soon as you walk in the door, there's where all the lumber is there. I made that Santa Claus years and years ago. I was probably a teenager, an old Winfield collection pattern, and here are some of the toolboxes that I've got to go through in various buckets. I did get up and do the loft this morning. That is why I'm so covered in dust and everything, but we are making progress. Okay, my friends, we are another day. Had a couple days of rain, but we are back on it. Got some totes here from Ollie's. They were on sale, and I have found my childhood Lego collection. So many memories here. Of course, the pirates. Of course, the big Lego pirate ship is in here. I'd love to find that and just put it together for nostalgia. All the instruction manuals, the catalogs, just all the bits and bobs and pieces here. This has no business being out in this business, and it was actually up in the loft and we set it down. The bottom is unfortunately broken in this tote, so that's what the new totes from Ollie's are for. But we're going to put all this stuff in two separate totes. Hopefully it'll all fit, and then we can put them in the family attic with the other stuff, and that will clear out that much more room out here in this building we are cleaning out. Right there is where the Lego tote was sitting when I finished last. Again, it came from up there and it was carefully lowered down to here, but it will be another big spot cleaned out once we get all of them cleaned up, sorted out. And this is something, hopefully, if there's interest in a future video, I'd love to go through and just talk about all this and catalog all of the Lego stuff. But we're continuing on with the deep clean of the building. We once again have clear weather, my friend, and we are in the building. I have pulled out 3 of the family weed eaters here. There was also 2 chainsaws that I've stored away. I don't think I'm going to end up keeping these, but they are going to go to a good home, so don't you worry. There was the tote the Legos were in from, I believe, the previous clip. And what I've done was put them in smaller totes to be easier manageable for them to be properly stored away. Today, I have pulled out more glass jars, and unfortunately, we have no use for them, so we're just going to set these to the road and probably put like a post on them, like on social media, you know, free curbside pickup. My grandma and grandpa used to do a lot of canning and stuff like that, so this is just from that bygone era. There is a leaf blower that was my grandfather's. But we have made major progress, and if you see all this white stuff on the ground here, that is the lime bags that were right there. They were all sitting here in this corner, and then the weed eaters and leaf blowers were just laying on top of them. Unfortunately, that's just how things happened. You can tell I've got it all over my Crocs and my pants legs here. But what I'm going to do now before proceeding is I'm going to take a piece of this scrap plywood. Again, people give it to me, and I hate to say no to free lumber or free material like that, but all this is from like different jobs and everything, or just leftovers where I've bought a full sheet and cut it down. So what I'm going to do is cut a piece down to block off access to the outside world, you know, to hopefully contain everything and keep all of those vines. That looks like kudzu right there, but I'm not quite sure, because unfortunately I am allergic to poison oak or poison sumac, whatever it is, so I want to be careful. So I do want to block all of that off. But once again, we are making progress, and I think I've got a good idea for an old family desk that I can put right here to store stuff on that has been badly damaged throughout the years. But we are rocking and rolling. Making more progress, and I hope you guys can appreciate my bowling ball door stopper there. But I have added some material here. Again, it's just a quick and dirty job, as they say. That piece there is not even securely screwed in because I think I'm going to have to cut it, you know, to properly fit there, and that's totally cool. I'll put a couple screws there just to act as a buffer to the outside world, like when it rains, the occasional snow. We hardly get any snow now in North Carolina, but you know, when we do, you know, sometimes it does pile on. You know, it's just the way of things. But with all of this area cleaned up here, again, it was just sacks of lime my grandfather had from his farm days that were laying here, and those bags were deteriorated, and that's why it's got everywhere. It's got all over me as we were getting them out and getting them properly disposed of. As I said, I did keep a few of them, but I have an old family dresser that I think would fit here nicely. And if you guys can remember way back when I very first started doing scroll saw project videos, it was my original sanding station, you know, because the dresser is old, but it's very beat up, and it would take a ton of work to restore it to its proper glory. So I think instead of it being in another storage shed, it would go great right here for the heavy toolboxes to sit on, and for me to organize all the jars of like screws, nuts, and bolts and everything. And with this being a dirt floor out here, I think that would be a great idea because I don't have to worry about how much weight is in one given area. But making progress today and moving right along with this deep clean of this old building. And here is that old desk that has been in the family forever. Again, it is beyond restoration or beyond my capabilities of restoration. But if you guys remember, if you are longtime followers of the channel, again, if this even goes up to YouTube, you guys will remember that this actually used to be my sanding area in the workshop. I took it out of the workshop years ago to improve workflow, and it's actually where I built my scrap lumber bin, where it's at now. And this has been in yet another storage building on the family property, but I measured it and it fit in this place perfectly. I've got it on some oak strips of wood to keep it from touching the bare dirt floor. Keep in mind, this is a dirt floor here, but here are two of my old Delta scroll saws. This one was the one I started the channel on, and this was the original Delta 16-inch scroll saw my grandfather had. And the drawers are going to be great to store stuff, like all those jars my grandfather had of just nuts, bolts, little nails, odds and ends. All those can now be organized into this, and it's got some drawers in it, and of course it's got some stuff in there already from when it used to be in the workshop that I didn't thoroughly clean out. But a nice sturdy structure that takes advantage of this area here, and then the toolboxes, of course, are above that little desk. But once again, making progress. Alright, my friends, it is another day out here, and I have finally got to the point where I have drug all of the scrap plywood out, as well as some pieces of hardwood. I know this piece here is hickory, and that's a very hard material. That's why it's been out here, because I don't have the capabilities of milling nothing that hard, and I don't want to dull my planer knives quickly. But again, we are here, and I'm getting to the final stages here. Again, it's been about maybe a week and a half since I've been out here, just weather and being busy with life. But I moved all of those yard tools, what I call yard tools, that were against this wall over to this wall, and that's where all the material I just showed you, the scrap plywood, was. So now all of this is over here. It's nice and organized. The big shovels, the small shovels, you know, the post hole diggers, just equipment like that for yard work and all. And what I'm going to do on this side right here, I'm going to attempt to make a little small platform to put all of that plywood on. That way, as soon as I come and open the door here, it will be within easy reach without me having to drag out a bunch of stuff and go over here where it used to be. But after I get that done, it'll be time to do the final part, which is cleaning up on this shelf. And then this long project that started in March, it is now mid-June, will be complete. And just like that, all of that plywood excess has been organized, and I cut up a pallet, just cut it in half, and I've got it in two sections there. Now all that wood is nice and organized, and when I open the door here, I can easily access it when I need to make backer boards for scroll saw projects, or if I need just a piece of thicker material to cut something out of. And all the tools are nice and organized. Now I'm going to set up the 6-foot ladder and begin working on this final part here. Okay, my friends, it has been a long time coming, but for me, myself personally, the way I see it, this storage shed here is now complete. As of right now, it's all I can do with it until I can get rid of more stuff, but I'm going to pan the camera up. The joiner and ladder is pulled out. Of course, they can be pulled out easily when you first open the door. Here is the stand for my Rikon scroll saw, and it's where I can quickly come out and grab it if I'm going to do demos somewhere and put the scroll saw on it. Here is some wrenches my grandfather had and some drivers here, and I just hung them up on the wall. He's got a lot more of these sets here in those toolboxes, and I might just, you know, add them here, and I might ultimately add a pirate banner or something here, you know, just to kind of decorate. But as I wanted it, the lumber storage is right inside of the door here, and everything is nice and organized, and it is raised up off of the dirt floor. You can see everything there, and people continue to give me scrap pieces of material and everything. There is the ladder that accesses the loft, and I did put some wood down to kind of, you know, mask off the dirt floor. All of the yard tools are there. There is that one cabinet we were able to save, and right here on the platform that I put the cabinet on is some old split and maul and axe heads. I know those are very old still there, but we did put the shelf up there to organize farther stuff. Here is a Dale Earnhardt car found cleaning up, and I put it there. He was, of course, one of my childhood heroes, and he is, of course, a North Carolinian. But up here on the top, I'm not quite satisfied with it, but again, I've gotten as far as I can. I would like to give this table here to someone who would like to restore it. I'd like to give it to someone who's not going to tear it down but would like to restore it, and once it is gone I could possibly put more shelves up there. I got rid of a lot of the buckets, but it's always great to have buckets to store stuff in. Here is some more tool kits I found cleaning up in the workshop and brought them out here, and here is the toolboxes themselves, as well as that desk we brought out here with the 2 scroll saws and then the 1 toolbox itself. And over here in this corner I'm not happy with. Now ultimately I want to give that teacher's table that was shown earlier in the video, this big table and my original train table, to people who will use them. Again, I don't want to give someone something and then them just try to turn around and scrap it, you know, like for the metal, or try to, you know, flip it. You know, I want to give it to someone who will actually use it. But once all of this is gone, I would like to actually put a shelving system up and maybe organize stuff in the buckets, or, you know, farther along with the organization, may go to a thrift store and get maybe a bookcase or something I can hang on the wall to store stuff that I don't use in the workshop regularly. But I'm going to film one more little clip here before I finally close the video off. What I'm going to do is actually push the joiner in, put the ladder in, so I can show you how it will look to me when I step in here to grab a piece of scrap wood. And we will have one final look at the storage shed, how I will see it each time I will open the door before we formally close the video. Before I open the door, I want to give a special thanks and shout out to my buddy Lou at Crosscut Carvings. He is more commonly known for hand carving router signs. He don't use a CNC, but you would think he did. He does it all freehand. He made this nice purple and black AP logo for me a couple years ago, and it's hung on this door ever since, and I've used it for a few photo opportunities. But here is the door, and of course it's closed, and it can be locked under lock and key, which I normally have it locked. But we will open the door and you will see how the building will look each time I need to come out here. We will again prop the door open with my bowling ball door stopper. Again, I don't even know where that thing came from, but it makes a great door stop. As soon as you come into the building, here is the stand for my Rikon scroll saw, where I can easily come out here, grab it, put the scroll saw on it, and do live scroll saw demos. Here is 2 of the many tool sets that I found cleaning up. This wrench set here used to actually hang on the back wall in some of my earliest YouTube videos, and then I found this snap-on tool set here and hung them up. And I might add some more here. My grandfather had several of these kind of sets. Of course, at Christmas, Father's Day, his birthday, people always gave him tools and everything. And I'm getting to that point now where I get excited to get tools for, you know, my birthday, Christmas, or something like that. And I've got another pirate banner. I might add it right here just to kind of decor a little bit. But you can see here is my little lumber storage area, and people have given me even more lumber and material since I started filming and documenting this shed clean out. But again, all of the main material is elevated off the dirt floor on a pallet I cut in half. And you can see this building came a long way in the few months we worked on it. And again, the reason it took me so long to do this building was I didn't want to do anything in a haste, and I was also filming my main YouTube videos in between doing this, cleaning this out, and also trying to live an active lifestyle and also spend time with my family and friends and also get the occasional, order done and everything. So, this was not a top of the list thing to do, but now you can see I can easily get in here and I can move all the way around as opposed to having to open the door and drag 6 or 7 things out. Again, it's way different than how I had it finished in my mind's eye, but it came a long way from where it was. And if I ever need to get in here and move anything around, of course the joiner is on casters where I can roll it out in the yard, especially if I need to edge join any material. Again, it can be pulled out into the yard, quickly used and put back in here, and the ladder can be moved very easily. It's not a heavy ladder at all to where I can get access to the cabinet. So now I only have to move 2 things instead of 5 or 6 things. But thank you all for following along, and I hope you guys have enjoyed the journey. Around midway through filming and documenting the clips, I finally ultimately decided to upload it to the YouTube platform. So if you've watched until this point, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. But now we will close the video. And that, my friends, is going to wrap up that compilation clip show, I guess you can want to call it. Again, it's a very unorthodox video, not filmed in my normal style. But again, it was something, the farther I got along in the process, the more it clicked in my mind to actually upload it to the YouTube platform to where everybody can enjoy it. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed it. It is a little bit longer than a normal video on the channel. So if you have watched the video until this portion where we are closing the video out, thank you guys so much. I truly appreciate it. And again, I wasn't intending to post it to the YouTube platform like I ultimately have. Again, I was filming it for posterity's sake, but again, the more I thought about it, the more I wanted it on the platform. And hopefully in today's video, you guys can see from my point of view that I was not trying to get rid of the memory of something, but I was trying to, make room and get rid of the thing itself. So the memory and the thing, those are 2 separate entities, and I think a lot of people have a hard time separating those things. Both of my grandparents grew up in the Great Depression, and that was a main reason for a lot of the tools. My grandfather, he did not like getting rid of the tools. If a tool broke, he thought he could still maybe fix it and use it for something else. But it was a great way for me to go down memory lane. Again, some of the stuff I pulled out of the building, I got emotional thinking about just some of the memories I had with my family, and especially my grandfather using such a tool and everything. But I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Again, I apologize for it being so long, and hopefully it will inspire you guys to maybe clean out a storage shed of your own. But really, really cool. If you're new to the channel, please click that subscribe button, and also follow me across all my social medias under the Artisan Pirate name. As always, links to contact me as well as all my social medias will always be linked down in the description box below these videos. That's about all for this one, and remember guys, if I can make it or do it, so can you. I'm the Artisan Pirate. Take care, and I'll see you guys real soon.